The gang along with the Hex Girls and Rose left at dawn. They all left the carnage of the cities. They were driving for a long time. Rose was getting frustrated. "Damn, there's so many zombies," she said. "Never seen so many. I hope we can find somewhere safe," Thorn said as she drove down the road. Dusk then spotted a large farm. "I see a barn," Dusk called from the passenger seat. It was beside Thorn's driver's seat. "What is this place?" Luna asked as she looked at the sign above the gate. "Fairview Stables." "Wow, it looks heavily guarded," Rose commented. "Maybe there's survivors in there." Thorn smiled at the idea. Mystery Inc. also parked their van. "What is this?" Fred asked. "It looks like a rat stable," Thorn replied. She, along with Rose and her friends, got out of their van. "Maybe there are survivors in there." "It looks heavily guarded," Velma said. A guard walks towards the gate. "Who are you?" the guard asked them. "It is just us," Fred began. We're the Mystery Inc. and the Hex Girls. We're with us." The guard looked at the group. "I've heard about you guys. Mystery Inc., solving mysteries," the guard replied as he lowered his gun. "Name's Steven, by the way." "Hello, Steven. Nice place you have there," Rose said. "I'm Rose Martin, was a police officer till retired. You sure could use another firearms expert." "It's nice to see other firearms user. Welcome to Fairview Stables," Steven replied. "Steven, I don't know if you have heard of us or not," Thorn began. "Myself along with two friends, Dusk and Luna, are in a band called the Hex Girls. We've came here for a concert." "Ah, now I was hearing that music," Steven replied. "I went down when the outbreak started and I heard your music." "Now that explains a lot," Thorn replied. "I'm Thorn. Call me Sally McKnight if you want." "Nice to meet you, Thorn." "Before I let you guys in," Steven began, "I want to ask you all a question, and please be honest. Are any of you guys have been bitten?" "Nope," the Mystery Inc. said. "Negative," the Hex Girls added. "Clean as a whistle," Rose also added. "Good. You all may pull your vans inside, and then come inside the farmhouse," Steven began. Mystery Inc. and the Hex Girls pulled their vans inside the holdout. Once the gang were inside, they followed Steven inside the farmhouse. "Wow, this house is huge," Daphne added. Steven opened the door to his parents' bedroom. "Mother, Father, I brought some people here, and they're not infected," Steven said. His parents had walked inside towards the Hex Girls, Rose, and the Mystery Inc. "Well, we could have more people," Steven's father said. "We'll be glad to help, whatever it is you need." Fred blushed by Steven's parents' welcome. "I'm James. I'm Steven's father," James replied. "We've held up in here since the outbreak began." "You know about the zombies?" Thorn asked. "Amazing, but creepy at the same time," Dusk added. "Yes, Steven returned here with his sick sister. We believe she's contacted the virus," James replied. "Me and my girlfriend took first aid training," Thorn spoke up. "Maybe we can help if we're the band singers." "Of course, you three must be the Hex Girls," James replied. "Yes, we are. We're here with Mystery Inc. and Rose Martin," Thorn said. Steven's father then turned to look at his son. "How sick is his sister?" Luna asked. "So sick that she could barely get up by herself," James sadly said. "Was she bitten?" Thorn said. "Not from what I can see. She won't tell us," Steven's mother replied. "Maybe you girls can get her to speak up. I'm Marilyn." "Nice place, Marilyn. You've got more people here?" Velma asked. "We've got lots of people. Guards, paramedics, police officers, and even people that know firearms. We have lots of food, water, and strong security," Marilyn replied. "Like, great, especially for a place like this," Shaggy said. "Rah!" Scooby added. "James, Steven, and Marilyn," Fred began. "Since we know who you are, why not we introduce ourselves?" "Well, you already know Rose. I'm Fred, and these are my friends Daphne, Velma, Shaggy, and Scooby-Doo. And these are the Hex Girls, Thorn, Dusk, and Luna." Scooby and Shaggy saw the tray of food and started to eat the food as they usually would do. "Nice to meet you all," James said to Fred, "and you Hex Girls my daughter's in my bedroom. She is very sick, so be sure you wash up before and after checking on her." "Alright, thanks, James," Thorn said. "What's her name?" "Her name is Melissa. She's only 18 while Steven is 23, James replied. Just do what you can, even if she doesn't survive. Just do what you have to do, girls have to do, Marilyn added. The Hex girls washed their hands before going inside Melissa's room. When they walked inside, Melissa was on her bed. She weakly lifted her body up. She was pale as a ghost. You must be the Hex girls, Melissa said groggily. Yes, how did you know? Luna asked. I heard you and my parents talking. Melissa coughed. You are going to help you get better. That's if you didn't get ill from the zombie outbreak virus or whatever it is, Thorne replied. She felt Melissa's forehead. You're burning up, Melissa. Want something to eat or drink? Some water would be nice, and maybe some oatmeal cookies, Melissa replied. Dusk and Luna went to go get cookies and a glass of water for Melissa. Here, Melissa. How do you feel now? Luna asked. A bit better. Melissa coughed. I'm hoping to survive. Here's something we can bring your fever down. Dusk placed a cold cloth on Melissa's forehead. Have you taken any antibiotics? Thorne asked. I have taken a few of them, but they're not working, Melissa replied. She drank her water and ate her cookies. The Hex girls left the bedroom as soon as Melissa went to sleep. So, is there anything we could do? Fred asked James. Not at the moment, but you're more than happy to look around, James replied. Fred, along with Daphne and Velma, explored the farmhouse. Shaggy and Scooby explored the kitchen, and the Hex girls went to the barn that was not far from the farmhouse. Rose was set to work right away, as she is a firearms expert. The Hex girls ran into Fred, Daphne, and Velma in the living room. Hey girls, how's Melissa doing? Velma asked. She's still sick. We'll have to keep an eye on her, though, Thorne replied. There is a chance that she might have, well, the virus. James and Marilyn told us that. Let's just pray and hope she didn't get bitten, Thorne replied. How high are the chances? It's a 50-50% chance, Thorne. We're still not sure, Velma said. If she becomes a zombie, someone will have to put her out of her misery, Daphne replied. We can't do that without her parents' permission, Fred explained to the gang of the Hex girls. Who wants to check out the rat stable? Dusk added. I'll do. It's so great, Daphne replied. Thorne also nodded. Why, that sounds cool, Shaggy said. Then Scooby nodded. Like me and Scoob will explore the kitchen some more. Rah! Scooby added. Me, Fred, and Luna will go meet the new people, Velma said. Thorne, along with Dusk and Daphne, walked out of the farmhouse, and they walked to a little Rhine stable. They could see some people working. Some people were leaving the barn on horses, and a worker walked towards the girls. Welcome to Fairview Stables, a worker said. My name is Jennifer, and I'm good friends with James and Marilyn. Nice to meet you, Jennifer, Dusk replied. The girls shook Jennifer's hand. Nice stable they have here. Thanks, I'm a good friend of theirs, Jennifer replied. So do you know if that Melissa is sick? Thorne asked. We checked on her, and she's burning up a fever. Yes, it's unfortunate, Jennifer replied. She took the girls on a barn tour. Daphne, Thorne, and Dusk loved the barn. It's a nice barn. We should bring the rest of the gang here, Daphne said to Jennifer. Thanks for having us a tour. So this barn does Western and English riding? Dusk asked. The stalls that are green and white means they do Western, and the stalls that are blue and red, which means they do English riding, Jennifer replied. You're all welcome to ride the horses whenever you're comfortable riding you're comfortable with. Thanks, Jennifer. We'll see you around, Daphne said. When the girls got back to the farmhouse, Thorne walked inside the dressing room. Daphne, Dusk, Luna, you gotta see this room. It's like a huge wardrobe, Thorne called to her friends. Dusk, Daphne, and Luna ran inside the dressing room with Thorne. Wow, this is amazing, Luna said. That is so cool, Dusk added. We gotta try on these clothes, Daphne said in amazement. The girls all tried out on some dresses, pants, shirts, and more. They soon enjoyed trying on different clothes. Some were too small, some were too big, some were either too loose or too tight, but others were just right. Look, Thorne, I found riding breeches. We should try all these riding outfits out, Luna said. Thorne, along with Dusk, Luna, and Daphne were all dressed in their riding clothes. We should try riding the horses back in the stable, Dusk suggested, just to get to know them more. The horse goes as you ride. Let's do it, girls, Thorne smiled. The girls walked back to the stable, and they were looking at what horse to ride. They were all deciding on what to ride, English style or Western, so they decided to check it out. Of course, Luna got a chestnut Canadian warm blood mare. Fawn got a gray Polish warm-blood gelding, Daphne got a black fur-bred mare, and Dusk got a Dutch warm-blood gelding. The girls all saddled up their horses, and they were deciding on where to ride, inside or outside. "Let's ride outside. It's beautiful out there," Daphne said. "Jennifer says there's a cross-country course and a jumping one." "Sure, we'll have to get Fred or someone to watch us," Dusk said. Fred then walked up to the girls. "What are you girls up to?" Fred asked. "We're going to ride outside. Daphne wants you to do jumping," Fawn replied. "Will you be able to watch us, in case if one of us falls off or something?" "Sure, girls, I'll follow you," Fred replied. The girls got outside and jumped on their horses, and once they had found the mounting block, they jumped on their horses, and the girls did some jumping. Fred even watched for zombies at the same time. "Let's go!" Dusk nudged her Dutch warm blood to canter at a 2'6" jump, but the horse stopped right in front of the jump, and Dusk fell over off her horse. She knocked on the jump. "Dusk, are you okay?" Luna called. "I'm fine, just a little shaken up." Dusk got up. She held onto the reins, and the horse didn't take off. Fawn and Daphne's horses started to get a little nervous. "What's up with the horses?" Fred asked, noticing the horses were shaken up. "I have no idea. Maybe someone's there that they don't like," Daphne suggested. Fawn looked closely to see a woman. She had blonde hair, wearing a blue shirt and white skirt. She was looking similar to who Simone was, someone that Daphne and Fred knew. "Is that who I think it is?" Fred wondered. "It's Simone," Daphne said. She turned away and looked back. She saw Simone was a cat creature. "Holy crap!" Fred freaked out as Fawn's horse nearly reared. The cat creature took off quickly, and Fawn decided to go after it. She got her horse into a gallop and chased after the cat creature. "Hey, stop right there!" Fawn shouted, but she and her horse stopped and looked around, and they were surrounded by fields and a forest. They were protected by an electric fence. Fawn got off her horse and she couldn't find the cat creature anymore. "Damn it, it got away," Fawn cursed under her breath. "Did you see where it went?" Luna asked as she, along with Daphne and Dusk, show up. "The cat creature disappeared. No idea where it went off to," Fawn replied. She looked around for the dead bodies, that there were a few of them on the fence. "Hey, that fence is to keep the zombies out." Fred then noticed the electric fence was on. "Stephen did say that the place was surrounded by electric fences. This must be to keep the zombies out, and looters," Dusk added. "We should push one of the dead bodies off the fence," Daphne suggested. She then grabbed the pitchfork and pushed one of the decaying bodies off the fence. Fawn looked around, but she couldn't see any other looters or zombies. After Daphne pushed the decayed bodies off the fence, she put the pitchfork down. "Let's continue the ride. We gotta practice," Luna said. At dinner time, some of James and Marilyn's friends were hosting a party. "What's going on tonight?" Velma asked. "We're hosting a party tonight," James replied to Velma. "There will be singing, drinking, and fun." "You should be in it," Fred said to the Hex Girls. Dusk and Luna choked on their drinks while Fawn was choking on a piece of potato. "Oh God, Fawn's got something in her throat," Daphne said as she smacked Fawn's back. Fawn spat out the piece of potato out. "Oh, thanks, Daph. I needed that," Fawn said. Dusk and Luna had finished coughing. "Sorry about that. The drinks went down the wrong way," Luna added. "Yeah, about us singing?" Dusk asked Fred. "I said that you girls should perform here," Fred replied. "Yes, good idea. I love that idea. What about you girls?" Fawn asked. "I think that's a great idea," Dusk replied to Fawn. "Yeah, we should sing all of our songs," Luna said. "Sounds great. We're in." Later on that night, the party was going on, and the Hex Girls were singing at least a few of their songs. Fawn was at the microphone. "Thank you so much. You're all too kind. Now, we're just staying at this holdout place for a while as we fight the zombies outbreak, and we will win. So this song we're going to perform is the Aladdin 2019 remake. It's a cover song, and yes, we do have permission to do a cover of this," Fawn said as the audience cheered for the Hex Girls. "Like, isn't Fawn amazing, Scoob?" Shaggy asked his friend. "Yeah, Ree's right," Scooby added. "Mike, yeah, she is hot, Scooby-Doo." Shaggy had dreamy eyes. "This song we're singing is speechless," Fawn cheered. Luna began to play the keyboard to get the sound right, and the Hex Girls performed their cover song. Everyone clapped for the Hex Girls after their performance, and they enjoyed it. The Hex Girls smiled, and the next band was up next, so they moved their equipment away. Shaggy looked at the stars at night. "Why, that concert was so amazing," Shaggy sighed. I hope someday I can be in a band, performing music and songs. Before I walked up towards Shaggy, she was doing her best not to be noticed. I thank everyone for believing me. Like I want to thank Daphne, Fred, Velma, Dusk, Luna, Rose, and Scooby-Doo too. But most of all, I would like to thank the woman of my dreams, Fawn. Shaggy then heard a giggle and turned to see Fawn giggling. She was listening and watching Shaggy the whole time. Of course, Shaggy was embarrassed. Zoinks! Shaggy screeched. His cheeks were turning bright red. Fawn then walked towards Shaggy. She liked him, and he liked her too. Don't be embarrassed, Shaggy, Fawn said to her friend. Why, I didn't know you were there, Shaggy replied. Sorry, Shaggy, I liked your speech. Fawn smiled at Shaggy as she ran her hand through his hair. You stood out to me in the mystery ink. Like you did like my speech? And like I do? Shaggy was confused. Of course, Shaggy, you're attractive to me, Fawn said seductively. I've always liked you, Shaggy. Like you do? You don't think I'm weird, do you? Shaggy asked. No, you're not weird, and of course I do like you, Shaggy. Why wouldn't I like you? You're someone I've been attracted to. Lots of other guys think I'm hot, Fawn replied, but I had declined them when they asked me, mainly because I'm looking for the right one I like, and I'm looking at him. Like, that's crazy, Fawn, Shaggy began. The other girls think I'm cute too, but the one I would be with is you. Haha, Shaggy, that's so sweet, Fawn replied. She, along with Shaggy, walked back to the farmhouse since it was getting dark. The Mystery Inc., along with the Hex Girls, all went to bed. A few days went by and since the outbreak began, Mystery Inc., along with Rose and the Hex Girls, were holding up at the Good Farm. They did some fair share of work and they even helped the farm out. But during their 6th day at Fairview Stable, no one working at the sewage treatment plant, Phil, had found its way into the drinking water. This water has been gross looking, Fred said to the gang. Rose and the Hex Girls and Rose. The water here tastes disgusting now, Daphne replied. Then the Hex Girls looked at the gang. How's Melissa? Velma asked. She's been sick for a while. She's really going downhill, Fawn replied. Some people have gotten a disease. Zoinks! Like, what is it? Shaggy asked. Cholera, Fawn replied. This made Fred worried, not only for their friends, but for the holdout as well. There's just gotta be antibiotics or something for that to treat it, Daphne said. James then showed up at the front of the farmhouse. There is, but it's in town, James replied. I've sent 2 people to fetch it, but they have not returned. I fear that they're dead. Why, it's not like 2 of us. Why not? Let's send 2 of us to go, Daphne suggested. I'll go, Fawn volunteered. All right, James says as he was interrupted by Stephen. Dad, Dusk and Luna have just gotten cholera. They're having explosive diarrhea and they're puking their guts out, Stephen said. Fawn's world stopped. She feared that Dusk and Luna might not make it. No, I can't lose my friends. Not like this, Fawn said. She cried silently as Daphne rubbed her back. I'll go with you, Fawn. We'll help get the medicine and for your friends and for the people here, Daphne replied. Fred was nervous about Daphne going with Fawn, but he knew Daphne was strong. Very well, we'll get some weapons and whatever you need, James said. We'll let everyone know that you're both going out. Daphne and Fawn walked to the armory. Fawn got a shotgun and Daphne got a pistol. Anything else we need? Daphne asked. Here, Daphne, I think we might be able to make something work, she replied. She had an idea. I'll take the crowbar, you take the extra ammo. Fawn took the crowbar and Daphne took some extra ammo. Fawn also grabbed a saddlebag. Scooby looked at Fawn and Daphne. What's ruining? Scooby asked. Scooby, we're going on a mission. We'll be going into a town for medicine, Fawn said. People are getting sick, and we'll be going into town for medicine, Daphne added. Will you come with us? Fawn asked Scooby as she attached the saddlebag to the Great Dane. Ruh-uh! Scooby shook his head. Will you do it for a Scooby snack? Daphne asked. Scooby was hesitant. How about 2? 3? Or 4? Scooby nodded when Daphne mentioned 4 Scooby snacks, and Scooby nodded. Daphne gave Scooby 4 Scooby snacks. Scooby-Dooby-Doo! Scooby hollowed. You ready to go? Fawn asked. Yes, I am, Daphne said. Anything else we need to do before we leave? She asked. I want to say goodbye to Dusk and Luna. Let them know where we will be. Fawn said as she walked back inside the farmhouse and walked upstairs to see Dusk and Luna in bed. They were pale and sweating like no tomorrow. Thorn gave her two best friends a hug and kissed their foreheads. "I'll be back with Daphne, and we'll bring back the medicine," she said. "Bad dreams, sisters," Thorn said as she walked back downstairs. She met Daphne at the front door. "How are they?" Daphne asked. "They're sweating. We should get going," Thorn said, as she got in the car along with Daphne and Scooby, and they drove out of the holdout. They began to soon drive their way into town.